Hello everyone. I haven't made a video in a little while, but we've been rolling pretty good till this week. When you ask for time off, depending on your company, speaking from experience with Schneider, it was horrible. They either gave you 24 to 48 hours before your time off or 24 to 48 hours after your request for time off to get you home or to the designation you requested for your time off. Because sometimes we'd want to take our time off in Nebraska or something like that, which is acceptable as well, because it is somewhere that Schneider serviced. It was across I-80, so it was, it was okay because we were over the road. Well, we requested our time off in Irving this time, and with Schneider, back to that, it was always the latter. Your day off, they would send you to Indiana. When we lived in near Austin, Texas, they would send us to to Indiana the day before we had to be home. And they're like, well, we can go 24, then you just extend it on the end that we didn't get you home on the day you requested, so go ahead and take another day off while you're home, and that would make up for it. But if you had something planned, you'd almost have to put your request in for the day off 2 days before what you really needed, because there was no guarantee unless it was at least 2 days to the front, and then you could take that extra time. If they didn't get you home on time, then you could take it on the end. But that's not really, when you're ready to go home. We used to be out on the road for a month at a time, and when you're ready to go home, you're ready to go home. And this whole take it on the end, you're just so furious by the time you get home. You're like, I'll come back to work when I feel like coming back to work, because you have done it again. Now, if it was an emergency, like our daughter was in the hospital at one point, if his dad got sick, mom might, if it was an emergency, I will give kudos to them for that. They would drop everything, and automatically, all of a sudden, now there's loads to get you home on time, to get you home immediately. But they wouldn't do that with your time off. They really manipulated it when it was just a regular scheduled time off. And like I said, when you've been out 4 weeks, you're ready to go home. Well, Mark has been out about a month, and we requested this weekend off. We don't really make a lot of requests. So what did they do? All right, we were supposed to be home, back to Irving, starting tomorrow. Well, on Monday, they give him a load that picks up on Tuesday to deliver on Thursday in Atlanta. Now, there's no way you can make it from Atlanta to Irving unless you're a team in a day and a half, or a day. And matter of fact, probably the next load didn't even pick up until Friday, so you've got to throw that in there too. So there's no, it was like, now, since he refused the load, because he told them there's no way. I put this request in 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, we put that request in. So then they say, well, we're not going to give you layover or anything. We didn't have anything else except that load. So now you've refused that load, and and so now you're going to sit, which we took advantage of that in a way. The batteries on the truck were shot, or we thought the starter, but apparently the starter's fine, but it was the batteries. They were over 2 years old and needed to be replaced. All of them. I think there's 5 or 6 batteries. So they all needed to be replaced. So we kind of they put us up in a hotel room over the night for that, and then they came out and replaced all the batteries, and immediately he got 2 loads. One going from Ardmore down to Houston, then from Pasadena back up to Irving, which tomorrow it delivers in the morning, and we will have our day, and then we're off Saturday, come back to work Sunday. He's not even requesting 3 or 4 days off. He's just requesting a day and a half, equivalent of maybe 48 hours. So It's very frustrating when, you know, he hasn't taken a day off in over a month. So yeah, it's a little frustrating that they treat him like that. But you know, a lot of the companies do that. They take advantage of it and say, well, I know you requested your days off, sorry, but if you don't take this load, then you refuse it. We're not going to pay you layover time because you refuse to load. It's just a shitty way to do business. It's really a shitty way. So anyway, we're down here in Pasadena, Texas, getting loaded, and we're going to take it back up to Irving and deliver it tomorrow, then start our time off as soon as he delivers. What time's the delivery in the morning, Mark? What time's the delivery in the morning?
Anytime between 8 and 3.
Okay, so we will be there at 8 a.m. to get this unloaded. And then we'll go back to the yard. But anyway, long story short, time off. Getting your time off. My suggestion is, if it's an emergency, do let them know. It's an emergency. And they normally, any good company will jump through hoops, find broker loads, find you something to get you back if it's an emergency. Schneider had lots of avenues they could take to get us home. This company, I'm not sure. We haven't had technically an emergency where we had to be somewhere. So anyway, my suggestion is, if it's something you really, really want to be, like a cruise, or you're taking a trip, you're catching a plane, there's a party, like a birthday you're celebrating. I mean, if there's something important you need to be home for, almost put in for the day before that, maybe 2 days before that. I mean, just saying, this has happened so many times I can't even count, where you have said, I want to be home on this day and start my time off away from this truck, away from the drive, away from all of this. I just want to get out. I just want to get away for a couple of days because you've been in the truck for X amount of time. With Mark's company, if you work 1 week, you get 1 day off. You work 2 weeks, you get 2 days off. You work 3 weeks, you get 3 days off. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. I don't think you can take more than 4 days at a time. Generally, they don't really like you to do that. But we've been on the road a month, and he's only taking 48 hours. So he's not even taking the full of what they would owe him. And there's drivers sometimes that don't take any time off. They work 6 months and take a vacation, work 6 months, take a vacation. I get it. We're close, but we do cruise, so we have taken, like, he's worked a month and we've taken 5 days off. They've been very generous. I will give them that too, that they have allowed us, if we've worked a month and we had a cruise plan, but we've let them know 2 months, 3 months in advance that we have this cruise for this, and we will work up until that day, you know. So it's not like we're just throwing it on them. Oh, hey, we really feel like going on a cruise tomorrow, so can you just shoot us down to Houston or shoot us over to Charleston? We really, really, really need to go tomorrow. We don't do that to them. We're not like that. We give plenty of advance, get it cleared in advance. Hey, we're going to be gone 5 days. Hey, we're going to be gone 7 days. Now, he has a vacation still that he has until December to use. And we haven't really decided yet. Got a lot going on. We would like to take a cruise very soon, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I think maybe the next time, I don't know, we're looking at April or May. But now, Norfolk, Virginia is where our oldest son lives with his wife and our 2 grandkids. And they've opened that port for a lot more cruises now. They moved one of the ships from Charleston up to Norfolk because Charleston closed down and said no more cruise ships ever. So they closed it down and moved that ship up to Norfolk. So Norfolk used to just be seasonal. They would only run during the summer months. But now they're open they're going to be open out of it year round. So, and they live right there. So getting to Norfolk, and then we have a ride to the port. You're not worried about where you leave your car or getting a hotel. So that has increased our opportunities to, and we've never sailed out of Norfolk before. So that would be interesting. But anyway, the weather was a pain in the butt last week for all of us Southerners. There's still some snow on the ground. Not much. It's melting now. But this place was a mess a couple of days ago. That's another reason when we sat, they gave us the load to Atlanta, but I-20 and I-10, because you go through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. So you go through, everywhere was bad. There were accidents. It was shut down. If you don't pay attention to the news, scroll through your news and you will see that it was horrible. So we honestly were kind of okay with not getting thrown into that, because then we really wouldn't have made it back by Friday. We'd have been stuck overnight. They were shut down in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. They were all, a lot of lanes were, roads were closed, highways, and truckers didn't want to chance it. So, I don't know. Shift it around, see what you think, but it's probably best we didn't take the load. We'd have been shut down anyway. So, anyway, guys, I just wanted to check in with you and let you know we're fine. We're going to be taking a few days off, a couple of days off, 48 hours in Irving. And just be safe out there. Remember, on your time off, it's not a guarantee if it's just a requested time off. If it's an emergency, that's different. But if it's just a requested day off, you have to really stay on top of your company and look at the load and say, no, that's really not going to work for me. I put my time off request in, and that will not get me back here by the time I request it off. Or you go ahead and run with it, and you tell them, I'm taking my time, I'm taking extra days on the end because you didn't get me a home on my day that I requested. I'm going to go, if it's not that important to you, then I'm going to go ahead and take another day on the end. I'm not coming back on the day I said I was. I'll come back a day later because you didn't get me home. You can always do that and suggest that. So anyways, take care out there, be safe, and watch the weather, watch all the weather reports, and we'll catch you next time.